China's attack on cryptocurrencies continues, and it has impacted the market as well, with major cryptocurrencies taking a hit today, Bitcoin falling as much as 5%. So essentially, the People's Bank of China, the PBOC, has issued a statement in which it has clarified that all activity relating to cryptocurrency and all transactions relating to cryptocurrencies are illegal in China. In fact, overseas exchanges have also been banned from providing services to people in mainland China as far as cryptocurrency is concerned. Already, China has said they will be shutting down cryptocurrency mining. They said this back in May, and the reasoning for that is because they think it consumes too much energy, that too coal-based energy. So will China's moves in a sense set a template for other countries that are not clear about where they want to head as far as cryptocurrencies are concerned? What are the implications of this? To speak on this, I'm joined today by Nischal Shetty, founder and CEO of WazirX. Nischal, great to have you back on the show. Tell us what you make of China's moves. Of course, we know that the Chinese government has been hammering cryptocurrencies for quite some time, so it's not completely surprising. But do you think it sets a precedent of sorts?
You're right. This is not like the first time that you're hearing something negative around crypto from China. It's been happening for over, I think, 3 years now. And if you look at the string of announcements, it seems like they're going deeper and deeper into cutting out any of the crypto usage in the country. And I'm talking about decentralized public blockchains. But at the same time, they're also doubling down on their own crypto, which is CBDC, the central bank digital currency. So, we should not forget that this is the same country where also internet is regulated, to a large extent controlled. So I think for China's strategy, it might really play well, where they want to focus on their own central bank digital currency. And at the same time, they want to probably avoid any other open source projects to be used in the public domain. I think at the same time, the other thing is possession is still okay. It's just that the usage, and there were after the last ban report that came from China, there were quite a few exchanges and services that were registered outside the country, and they were still providing services to the people of China. And I think this recent news has to do with more of those kind of businesses that are registered outside the country, but still providing services to people inside China. I think those are going to be affected now with this news.
Sure, but let's look at it from a wider context, Nischal. Essentially, doing anything with cryptocurrencies, holding, trading, is going to be illegal in the most populous nation in the world. And they are doubling down on a CBDC, a central bank digital currency, as you mentioned, which several central banks also want to do. What are its global implications of this kind of policy? Because there are many nations who are still not absolutely clear in what direction they will head vis-a-vis cryptocurrencies.
Look, I think it's going to be, probably 2 or 3 buckets that you can categorize countries into when it comes to crypto. The first bucket is where there will be an outright ban, meaning they don't want to get involved at all. The second bucket would be where they would want to control it completely, the entire experience of crypto. And the third would be where they want to involve a public-private partnership. And I think countries like India, US, EU, Europe, most of the nation, everyone over there, I think they're all in the third bucket, which is a public-private partnership. And we've seen that happen with all of the technologies and most of the businesses that run in these nations. So I think that's where most of the countries will be. But there will always be a few countries, and China is probably the biggest, where they want to have more of a government control on all of these innovations, and probably take a controlled approach. But I don't think the rest of the world is going to take that approach.
Yeah. Just talking about India in a bit of detail, you talked about which bucket you think India is in. Which bucket would you like to see India in? Because currently the reach of cryptocurrencies is increasing. More and more people are coming on and investing. It's becoming easier for them, and they can do it for very small amounts every day. The regulatory framework is still not clear, and we do know that the central bank is not gung-ho about cryptocurrencies and is keen on its own CBDC. So where do you see that path going?
I think India would benefit immensely by taking the approach of a public-private partnership, where our central bank, RBI, should definitely get into crypto, and CBDC will really help the whole payment infrastructure get even better than what it is today. And at the same time, I think we should encourage a lot of innovations in the startup ecosystem in India around crypto, because that will attract a lot of one is capital investments into the startups in the country. Second is it will allow a lot of new jobs to be created, and also skill development will happen at a faster pace in this new technology. So I think a public partnership and a public-private partnership is going to work in India's favor, especially if you see the history of our software industry. It's really benefited when both the private sector and the government work together.
So when are you hoping to have some clarity, and does the lack of regulatory clarity hinder you in any way right now, Nischal, or you're just seeing more and more people come in any case?
Look, I think regulatory clarity will definitely be an advantage, and it also helps to ensure that your investors are more confident about the sector, and anyone building in the sector is more confident with regulatory clarity. So we are definitely pushing for that. Having said that, India is probably not the only nation which is not having regulations right now. Most of the major economies around the world are still dabbling with how to regulate this sector. I think it's a good thing that our government has started talking about it, started approaching this subject, and that's a great start. But it might take a few years before we get regulations in India. Before that, what we are looking for as an industry is guidelines. I think guidelines are easier and faster for the governments to really release. And I think some sort of guidelines that would help the industry would be a great welcome, I think, in the immediate future.
Absolutely. Any clarity will be welcome. Thank you so much, Nischal, for joining us on this conversation as we look at the impact and the implications of China's crackdown, this time on cryptocurrency exchanges and trading.